There's teachings about learning to see your angels and interact with angels. So that's a really big emphasis in this movement.
So, what better way to start than to talk about waking up slumbering angels? I mean, let's just dive right in. This is actually the one thing in the book that surprised me. Everything else I knew about and was like, oh, I'm glad they're saying this. I'm glad they're saying that. But this one, I was like, this is new. So what the heck is, how are we waking up angels? Why are they sleeping? Where are they? Tell us all the things.
Right. Well, waking angels is a practice that was promoted by Benny Johnson, the wife of Bill Johnson. Sadly, she passed away recently of cancer. But she described, we talked about the story in our book where there was a student, a Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry student, who felt like she was supposed to go to a chapel, that God was leading her to go to a chapel in Wales, Moriah Chapel, and wake up an angel that was supposedly sleeping
on the job.
Chapel.
Yeah.
And
they have been around since a long time, and they're probably very tired.
Well, the reason given for the reason all these angels are sleeping is because people haven't been crying out for revival. That's what they say. And so crying out for revival, revival is a really big focus in this movement, but it's a different paradigm for revival than the type of revival many other Christians seek. And we talk about that in our book. But so Benny Johnson was inspired by the story of the student, what happened when she woke the angel in Wales. And so she began her own practice of regularly trying to wake up sleeping angels. And so she describes another story, a time that she and a group from the church went on a road trip and to Hatchapee, California, and they blew shofars, which are like ram's horn instruments, and to wake up an angel or angels.
Did any walls come tumbling down? I just want to. Okay,
and so that's kind of where that whole thing came from about waking angels.
When the girl woke up, the first one in Wales, she saw something, right? Like in her testimony of this, what happened? The angel swooped down and said thank you, or what happened?
Yeah. The angel, I think the angel was. Let me see if I can find it here. The exact details.
I guess we could just make people go buy your book and read it.
Yeah,
well, it was like I sensed that the angel swooped down and.
Yeah, it's funny. She said as she turned around, she felt the ground begin to shake and heard this huge yawn. She looked back at the chapel and a huge angel stepped out. All she could see were his feet because he was that large. She asked him who he was, and he turned to her and said, "I'm the angel from the 1904 revival, and you just woke me up." She asked him, "Why have you been asleep?" The angel answered and said, "Because no one has been calling out for revival anymore."
Well, praised be that she declared that. That's amazing. Doug, feel free to throw anything in here, but I think
the idea in part is that they believe that angels are all around us, that we're surrounded by angels, and we're not seeing much in the way of their overt activity, and so they are in effect slumbering, and it's our fault. We need to be more alert to their presence and to their readiness to come to our aid and to foster revival, but do other things for us if we're willing. And we do that. We demonstrate our willingness by attending to them and in effect waking them up. So I think that's part of the idea behind this.
Yeah, people should realize there are lots of courses that are sold by leaders in this movement that actually teach people how to have encounters with angels. There's teachings about learning to see your angels and interact with angels. So that's a really big emphasis in this movement.